Hello guys, let's talk about HTML classes. In the previous video, I talked a little bit about HTML classes, how you can use classes to apply, CSS properties to your element on your web page. So in this video, we are going to dedicate our time to talking about HTML classes. Okay, so the class attribute in HTML. So the HTML class attribute is used, for example, if you want to specify a single or multiple class names for an HTML element. For example, here we have a paragraph and I have a class that I have declared here and I've called it paragraph. So the class name can be used by CSS and JavaScript to do some tasks for the HTML elements. So you can use this class in CSS with a specific, property, and then that will apply some styling to the HTML element. Okay, so in HTML, in CSS, let me say, if you want to use the class for styling the paragraph, for example, here, we're going to use the style like this, style element. So this is just going to be an example. And inside, we can write our CSS properties. So we want to use the class here and style our paragraph. So if you want to declare the class, you're going to write period and then the name of the class, paragraph, like this. And inside, you can write your CSS properties. So we say color blue, like this, and then you will see that the text of the paragraph is going to become blue. So that's basically that. Okay, so a class attribute can be defined within the style tag as I'm doing it here, or it can be on a separate file. Let's say, for example, if you have an external CSS file, you can write that inside. You can write that paragraph like this. Let's say that, okay, let me remove this from the style element here. So this will come back to normal. And I can also do that in my external CSS like this. If I say color blue, semicolon, and there you can see the styling is applied on the paragraph. Okay. And in an HTML document, we can use the same class attribute name with different elements and all of that. So that's what I wanted to tell you about the class. Okay. So as I was telling you, we can use, let's say, for example, if this particular paragraph is having that class, let's say if we say that the header as well is having a class paragraph, for example. So this is just an example. So if you say paragraph like here, you see that all the CSS properties that you are going to declare in your CSS are going to apply for both HTML elements because they are having paragraph. Paragraph here has class, has their class, okay? You can also use, the class for your, in your JavaScript, as I was saying at the beginning. So as for the JavaScript, let's write some JavaScript code. So we will say that here we are going to add a button. We say button. Now say hide elements and button like this. So this is going to be a button. So here we have our classes, and then we will need to have some script. Okay, so down here, so we're going to write our JavaScript. And we are going to write the JavaScript code in the script element. Okay, if we do it like this, and inside we are going to create the function. So we say function, my function, example, and then brackets, curly braces, and inside we will write our JavaScript code. So we say variable x equal document that get elements. So since we are using classes here, so we will say that we want to get elements by class. So get elements by class name, and then in the brackets, double quotes, we are going to write the name of the paragraph of the class. So we say paragraph like this. Okay, and then we will say for variable I equal 0, I less than, x, that length, semicolon, say I plus plus. And then here we'll say x in the square brackets, I that style that display equal none. So all we are saying that so this function is going to make sure that variable, the element, the HTML element that have the name, the class name paragraph here are not going to be displayed. So we will come back to our HTML code here and say that we want to apply this particular JavaScript function. So we say on click equal in a double quotes, and then we will say my function. So that's the name of the function that we will apply on a button. So that's it. And let us open and close the brackets. So now when I click on the button, you can see that it has disappeared. Okay, so now if I come back and click here, it is going to disappear. So all we have done, we have used the paragraph when we are saying that, okay, whenever you click on this button, we want you to run this function, which is my function. And what the function says is that, okay, for variables that have the class name paragraph, you have to set its style display to none. Okay, you have to hide it. So that's basically what is happening here. And what I wanted to show you here is that how you can actually use the class name with JavaScript. Okay, and we can also talk about multiple classes. You can use multiple class names, more than one, with HTML elements. Okay, this class name must be separated by a space. Say, for example, here in the header we can have another class name that will be header, but it has to be separated by some space. So let's say, for example, in my CSS here, if I want to say that for header, I want to maybe change the font style. So font style like this. I want it to be italic, semicolon. So this, as you can see, it is not working, because we made a mistake here. So header is a class. So as we said, the class in your CSS, you have to add the period before the class name here. Okay, so if we add the period, now you can see the font style as applied to our header. Okay, and I also talked to you about that here we can have the same class name but with different HTML elements. Okay, so for example, paragraph, we can say paragraph here. Since paragraph class name is both for the paragraph and the H1, as you can see here, whatever we are going to write here will apply for both HTML elements. So maybe we can just say font size 25 pixels, for example, semicolon. And there you can see how this is showing. So guys, this is what I wanted to show you about HTML classes, how to use classes in HTML. If you have any question, feel free to ask them in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and let's meet in the next one.